What's up? What's going on, everybody? K Mega 405 coming to you live from the 405, where I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers out there. Now, I know this is a late my thoughts, but um, I just feel in the mood to do it late because I did one late, I believe, last week, and uh, you know, people tend to dig it or whatever. Um, and I was already just being lazy, didn't want to do it in the middle of the day. So whatever. All right. So the things that I want to talk about tonight, um, it's basically for one. I'm going to start this off talking about fighting games. All right. So I streamed last night, and I got into my feelings because I got into my feelings. It wasn't because I was getting my ass beat or anything like that. It was because of the lack of competitiveness. It was crazy to me. Like Dead or Alive was cool. I was having a good time. I was playing Dead or Alive 6. The only thing that was the problem was that it was there's no rollback netcode or nothing like that. So there was some games that was pretty laggy, but other than that, it was I enjoyed that. But I wanted to show off to XKL. And I really think that it's a really cool fighter. And it's a free-to-play fighter. I think people should give it an opportunity. Um, it's not without its challenges and things of that nature. But this is what was got me in my feelings. I was, I was, I was playing and I played. I think I only played like maybe 3 matches, 3, 4 matches at the max, maybe just two. It was between 2 and 4. Um, but I won the first one. I won the first set. Uh, gave the person their revenge match. Did that, and then we played again. I won. All right, cool. Well, then I played against somebody else, and then I beat them. Then it was it was the revenge match, and then they quit. And I'm like, come on, man. Anyway, then I played somebody else. I lost that match, first round. They quit. What? Like, what are we doing? We're in a fighting games are competitive. Like, what are you online for? Like, that is something that you would think that you would be doing to play in the like, if you're playing in training mode or like bot mode or something of that nature. But anyway, I got in my feelings about it, and then I started just kind of rambling off talking about stories, about just blending in a story that I was bringing into it, just talking about just like how it just seems different. I got into what these younger kids would say boomer phase or whatever, but just talking about like just in playing a game um at the arcade, and you put your quarter down, you lose, you get back in line. If it's too long of a line, then okay, you go play something else until that line shrinks, and then you go back. But it's always, you got to get your get back, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, what is the point of jumping in, playing, and then you lose, and then you don't want to play anymore? And it's not like I was, that first match I got down pretty good, but the second match, it was pretty competitive. Like, it came down to a few hits or a hit, and it was vice versa to when I lost that other round. And I'm just kind of like, it was a good match. It was good stuff. It was good learning because I was trying to reprocess, because I haven't played the game in a while, how to get my combo strings together. I was having a problem with tagging. I was forgetting the tag button, whatever. But I was just over here just getting into the vibe of the game, and I'm just like, yo, what? Why did you quit? And then dude just ran off and just jumped and went into it, because it has like an arcade kind of setting. Just went. He went into another area. I guess, I don't know, man. But it did piss me off, because I was just like, come on, man, what are we doing, man? I'm trying to show the game off, whatever. But anyway, without that's not important about the discussion I want to talk about. It's going to be tied into basically what's going on with um, Dead or Alive 6, the last round, and is it worth it? Plus the whole thing of just with fighting games in general. There was this really good article that came from this he's a developer, but he likes fighting games, and I came across it by just catching this one video that just kind of randomly popped up in my feed on YouTube. and it was two guys that was talking about like fighting games. So I was like, oh, let me listen to a little bit. A very, very engaging video. But anyway, this right here is what I want to show you guys. Okay, so this is when, and this is very lengthy, so I'm not going to go all the way through this. I mean, it's very detailed, but there's a lot of things in here, and these are things that I've also said about with trying to get people involved into fighters. Where the issues are. Now, there's some things that I've definitely said. I'm talking about like it should be mandatory that every fighting game should have crossplay, cross save. It in 2026, there should not be any game actually that's a multiplayer game that doesn't have crossplay. It just doesn't make any sense. And to why you still have fighters that comes out asking for the same price as what you would pay for a Call of Duty or a Madden or some things that has crossplay, and you're asking for this and you don't have crossplay. You would have to double and triple dip, and I'm, like I've said before, I'm kind of over that phase now. Like, so especially with the benefits of play anywhere, and just once you introduce something like that, it just makes it different. And I think that is a big problem, because again, when you go and you try to play a game, when you go and you play a game on one of these platforms, it doesn't matter which one it is. It's even PC. As many people are on PC, those lobbies will die. And once they die, it's over. There's really nothing else to be said, and if it's just locked down to just the PC community, well, the PC community kind of gave up on that game. Same with PlayStation, same with Xbox, same with Nintendo. If that game is gone, and if that game is put in a position to where it's just locked in into that console, doesn't matter how many millions of people own those consoles, if it dies, it dies off. So crossplay is always it should be essential for any fighting game company. For anybody want to make a fighting game, it just doesn't make sense at this time, especially not to have that. Of course, another thing is rollback netcode. I understand that that's a lot of that takes a lot of work, but still, it should be mandatory in every fighter. That crossplay, cross save, period. Those things are mandatory. Another thing too that's pretty interesting as well, and I'm not going to try to take the credit for me saying this myself. I've thought about this, but they articulated it really well on this video, on these guys' video, about. So he broke it down, and it came from this, where he was bringing up a point. I don't know where that part was, but he was talking about chess. And like I said, it was really deep read. So anyway, he's talking about the game chess. And when you play chess, like there's like, I don't know, 10, 20 million people that's playing chess. And chess is a really hard game to learn. I learned chess through an old partner of mine who came out the joint. You know what I'm saying? So like, and he knew how to play. And so I was like, oh man, I always wanted to know. And so I learned from him. It is not easy game to play. And on top of that, there's a skill. So like I could play chess, but if somebody that knows how to play chess to a higher degree, anyway, but there's 10 to 20 million people daily that's playing a little small chess game. And the game is hard. And the one thing that they were saying in that video, which made a lot of sense, was that I think where fighting companies or studios, where they have the problem is that they try to make these games so accessible to try to draw in casuals. But see, again, it's not so much about making the game easy for somebody to jump into. Fighters has been here for, I mean, ever since I played, my first fighter was karate from in the early 80s. So, and that game was not, you had a little thing at the bottom of the, you might have. I remember, I didn't see that they had like a move list on the arcade version because when I first played it, it was at a laundromat, and so it was nothing there. It looked like something, but it was scrubbed out because it was an older thing. But anyway, I had to just learn, and we're talking about putting quarters into the machine and just keep learning and learning and learning and learning. But it wasn't because of that, where it's just like to make it so easy to just have somebody just go in, press one button, and then they're doing string combos here, left and right, and the third. That's not what's going to bring in the casuals. The one thing that I think that hurt from where it used to be in the 90s is because of the fact that you had people, because of arcades, of course, and then, you had the couch co-op stuff. It's totally different now. Like couch co-op, it's still there and available. Like fighting games should never get rid of local co-op because you will have a friend that'll eventually come. But we're talking about like somebody like me who's 50 years old. Like ain't no way that I'm going to have. I got a homeboy that's in his mid 50s. He just had a kid just about 2 years ago. His whole priorities is different. I got other people that got kids that's in college or that, looking at, I got another person that's looking at retirement and everything else and just other people just working and doing other things like you. It's not like it used to be where homies would come over to the house and we would have a room full of people and we're just all passing a stick playing local Tekken or Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or whatever it was. Those times is they're still in some households, but it's nowhere near the same. That's why I say crossplay is really important because again, when I can go and then any of my homeboys have time to want to play something, then we could just link up and play. And I have homeboys that have all different. I got a homeboy that just PlayStation only. I got another homeboy that's PC only. I got another homeboy that's Xbox only. Right, but again, if we could all link up and play together, you know what I mean? Like, if you got your game in crossplay, that's what's going to generate stuff. Also, another thing too, it's awful, and I didn't understand it, especially with some of the lesser known fighter games. They would not have lobbies. Like that's another thing that is a problem with fighters. No lobbies, or if you did have a lobby, it's only two people. There has been many a times me and Yobi or somebody else will be playing. Like if I'm doing something on fight night, and if somebody's watching, they're like, "Hey, can we come and play?" They have no lobbies, or somebody was like, because if somebody just would be watching the stream and they had that particular game, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and then they would like, "Hey, can I come in?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm playing with somebody right now," but why? Why it should be mandatory as well to have at least 8 room lobbies. I would say max it out at 20 if you can. But I just look at that and I'm just saying to myself, why? Why is that not something that can be addressed and looked at and thought through before they make those things should be the first things that they write right up under the name or the title of the game that is going to be. Like right there is like when you have the title, and then even before you work on a story mode or whatever the design and whatever you're going to do with the characters, it should be mandatory right there. Crossplay, lobbies, lobby system, and just different modes and stuff like that. Man, it's just wild to me, man. It is just wild. So I think that's one of the big issues for sure. Of why people, it's not because it needs to be more accessible, it needs to be more easy, because like with Tekken 8 had great balance. When Tekken 8 first dropped out, it had fantastic balance. Like it was perfect the way it started off. For people like me who are more defensive and react on people who are offensive, sidestepping, I can read as some of these people would say, read the frames up because I've been playing Tekken for, ever since it came out. If you playing with legacy characters or just new characters or whatever, then just know different moves until they do something different in a combo setting or something. But I play off of how their energy is, and so like when they changed it into the next season and just made it like well, damn, I'm trying to sidestep. This combo is following me behind a sidestep. Like that don't even make any sense. And it pissed me off. But again, I still said, okay, I'm gonna play through it. Then they changed it back again. And I'm like, you know what? They're gonna change it again. They're gonna do something else. So I'm just gonna wait. And so it made me put Tekken down for a little while, start playing some Street Fighter, whatever. And and so just some other fighters, and just in general, I just it's just my thing too, is that I if you have a good formula, yeah, you can tweak some things here and there, but like crazy tweaking, it just doesn't benefit the game, because what you're going to do is, for the people who are comfortable with playing the game when it first launched, or even if it gets to the first season and there's some tweaks and buffs and things of that nature, once people get comfortable with that character that they're playing with, the way that people play these games now, they only play with that one or two characters. Like, see, somebody for me, I like to play with every character to see how I feel, if I like that feel of that character. And then also a lot of times I just play with lesser characters just to test my skill level against somebody who I know that's going to most likely play with their best character. And then if I can compete, if I can win, it makes me feel good. It's just kind of like a weird thing that I do. But I just find it to be like, when that player has put that much time and effort into that character, and then you buff them, and then when they go against somebody that you raised up their level, and now everybody's playing with them, and then that character that person was playing with that they got good with get their ass beat, they're going to put the game down, and then they're going to rate it. And if they're a content creator, they're going to talk about it's trash and Tekken's dead or Street Fighter's dead or Mortal Kombat's dead. It's just how that is. So to balance things out, it's fine. But if the formula is fitting, man, there should be just minor tweaks, and then just leave it alone. I don't know. That's another part that I think that they need to pay attention to. Now, I understand when they're bringing in new characters in their season, they have to rebalance everything for other kids. So I get that, but the overbalance stuff to where it just, like if you're playing with just this one character that is probably the less played character in the game, and then they nerf them anyway, and and everything that you were doing, and you knew how the move sets and how much damage you would take, and now it isn't doing this much damage or anything, it gets really frustrating. So anyway, but to my whole thing here with this situation here, my last point on that, and then I'm going to go ahead and be okay, Noof, we can be friends. I thought we were friends. I thought we were already friends. I guess I don't know. Maybe unfriend me. I have no idea. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, let me go ahead and do that. All right. Do that right fast. I just seen the notification. Anyway, so with this right here is talking about it's just talking about the changes in what games should be right here. Like, and the success of fighting games from, especially in the 90s, that's when fighting games were at their best. Was close that. And then when you look at now, like, okay, so like Smash Bros. 7.1 million. Now again, this is old, because I mean this is like Melee. Like the other Smash Brothers, I sold, I don't know how many, like countless. So that was pretty crazy. Let me cut this out. Hold on. Shouldn't have did that. There we go. Away. Okay, there you go. Let me cut you off too. All right. Anyway, so as you can see here is that you see, like with Tekken 5, and I didn't even know this. I didn't know that Tekken 5 did way better than Tekken Tag 2. Like, I don't even know if it has Tekken Tag 2 in here, but I know Tekken Tag 2. I was looking that up. It only sold like 1.5 million. That is my favorite Tekken of all damn time. But Tekken 5, like at that time in 2005, was cooking. And then seemed like okay, it's like I said, the 90s and the early 2000s fighting games were still, 90s fighting games were dominant. And then in the early 2000s, fighting games were still solid. it was in the 2010s when fighting games began its spiral. And and it was multiple games, but one of the games that really had people that had people seriously pissed off was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, because it was the first time that they were holding characters behind a paywall. And I remember people just revolted and didn't buy that game. I love that game. I thought that the mechanics with that game was incredible, but again, there was something new. It just changed. And then you had hit and miss versions of Soul Calibur, and then it just turned into like there was a lot of lazy made fighters, and then you had like the tobacco with Street Fighter V. That was awful. And that game, it took years before that game caught up to getting some sales, because it was the worst selling Street Fighter of all time. Plus, on top of that, it was exclusive, and they were betting because of so many PlayStations being sold that they were gonna cook. It didn't happen, and it was because they didn't have modes. That's another thing that they have to assess, is that you need more modes. A lot of people like the story stuff, but a lot of things too that what these people were bringing up was that I was listening to. They were saying like squads. That's genius. I mean, just think about that for a second. You have a lobby. You got lobbies, but you have like this like these arcade like rooms. You go in here, you meet other players and stuff like that, and then let's say like just if you're more famous content creator for whatever that game is promoting it, you're a follower of that person, and then they're building a squad to join. Oh yeah, they do that stuff in Madden and NBA 2K. It is perfect. And then once you do that, that builds a community. See, the fighting game, and then when you play people online, it is so hit or miss. You don't really get to, even if you talk to people online, you know what I'm saying, it's usually just some shit talking, or most of the time nobody's not speaking to each other because people are competing and they're playing, rank and trying to get themselves higher rank. So it's not as accessible to talk within the community like that. But if you build squads like you do with NBA 2K and stuff like that, that would be incredible. That would definitely build a lot of great things in the community. And then you could do all types of cool shit, especially if you have the crossplay. For instance, let's say you got you could do because you have to have crossplay to do this. You could have a Xbox squad, you can have a PlayStation squad, you can have a Nintendo squad, you can have a PC squad, and your squads and you can be on multiple squads, but that's, what I'm saying. But if you got your band of Xbox brothers and you're saying like you talking to some other people saying, hey man, let's link up on this Saturday night, let's squad up, what I'm saying, PlayStation gets Xbox. Let's do that. Like, what I'm saying, or, and then the good thing about that is when you build your squad, you bring in everybody. Like it can't be all heavy hitters because it's not like that. And then that also brings in an opportunity for novice fighters, to come in and play against other novice fighters. And it's just all good. It's just all fun. It's like when we do fight night, I have a big group of people within fight night, like. And it's sometimes, and as some of you guys that's followed me, that sometimes it's just not my night, and I get my ass handed to me even by novices. It's just like I just don't have it. Or I could be in a good stretch. There could be somebody else in a good stretch where like Sir X-Man with somebody, Yobi, or whoever with like 108 or whatever, whoever that's all involved. Like when we had Core and others that was there, like they all had their moment. And that's the thing of it that made it beautiful, like, and fun. And if you would do something like that to add that is great. So anyway, all that being said, me talking about Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive right here. Okay, so when they first announced it, I was excited about it. I was like, oh yeah, ain't no way I'm copping it. But then I started finding some more stuff out, and I am on the fence. I am on the fence because of multiple things. All right. So There was somebody that posted this, and it was really so instead of me just trying to just throw it out there, I'll just read it. Okay, so DOA6 Last Round. It has no rollback netcode. I can understand that. It's an older game. They announced that they're going to do um, um, 7, so they're going to do DOA 7. Mostly their priority and money is going to go into that, and this is probably to get more money to help fund for what they're going to be doing in DOA 7. I'm not tripping about no net code for the last round, but but this person said here, even Virtual Fighter 5 got rollback netcode. Well, the difference with that is that that DOA6 Last Round is releasing everywhere in August. Virtual Fighter started out on PlayStation. It was Virtual Fighter Showdown. I remember I bought it, and it was on PlayStation for years, for about what 2-3, it was 2 to 4 years, until it went to PC, which was like about a year, a little over a year ago, and I bought that there, and so Virtual Fighter 5 came to PC, and then I'm like, man, this sucks. Why is it not coming to Xbox? But then I heard a rumor that they're going to do it, because I asked somebody, and they were like, yeah, from my understanding, I think that they're talking about doing it, but we don't know for sure. But it seems like how they're doing is like it's a test because of an upcoming game that they're working on. And so when they said that, I said, they're going to make a new Virtual Fighter, which I was excited about that, and I think I talked about that on the stream at some point. But with all that being said, so when it came to that coming finally, when Virtual Fighter finally came to Xbox, and I think they're going to make a Steam version. I mean, a Switch version, or they already did make a Switch version. It was a process of years. This is coming out all at once. It was just a special announcement this year at that PlayStation, the PlayStation showcase or whatever, a state of play. And so it's like, boom, okay. And then it's just a couple of months and they're all jumping up. So I'm not tripping about the rollback netcode thing yet. This is what bothers me though. And that's why when I gave all this long speech about the things that I would like to see in fighters from here on out, like it shouldn't be a question. This right here does not give me, this what gives me pause. No crossplay. What the hell are you doing? Come on now. Come on, Tecmo. No crossplay. Like, come on. Anyway, and then there's people that's kind of upset because the contracts for 2 special characters won't be in it, which is Mai from King of the Fighters and Kula. She's from Samurai Showdown. So both of those characters will not be in this DOA6 Last Round. They are in DOA6. I have them both. Cool characters too. Like they did them right. But again, their contracts is up or whatever. And then they're saying like, look, there's going to be new characters that's going to be dropping. We don't know who those new characters are going to be, but if they're going to drop some new characters to take the place of those 2 that's not going to be there, then it is what it is. Now, this is another thing what the person was saying, and they're saying it is $40. What is the update for again? And then there's not supposed to be a lot. There's going to be some outfits not in there or whatever. So anyway, I started playing the old version, and so that's why I was like, that's why I don't really ever get rid of older versions as long as they're still stable and they play, because of this reason to just go. And so that's why for Fight Night last night, I went ahead and played it. I mean, like I said, I had a good time. But it is one of those things to where it kind of makes you like, man, I don't know. Like, knowing me, I'm going to get it just because it's a fighter. It is what it is. The 2 extra characters give me some hope, but also it's just one of those things too for me is where it's like, okay, what other incentives that he did? And I don't think, and this is the thing, the difference between other fighters and DOA. DOA, you would sit here and say, well, I'll just wait for a sale. And there'll be a sale probably on Black Friday, but DOA usually don't drop it. It drops in price, but not quickly. So it's kind of like if you notice Tecmo games, like you got to catch those sales, and if you miss them, then you got to wait a while. So like case in point, um, Origins, Dynasty Warrior Origins, it took a minute before it finally went down in price. So and finally, you know what I'm saying, I got a chance to get it. So anyway, but there's some people been very negative about that, and it's like the negativity in the community is so frustrating. Like we don't know how the company works. We deal with this since 2012 with DOA 5. It's been 14 years. If you love the saga, after all the hate, or if you it says if you love the saga, after all the hate the saga already received, we should support and play instead of useless drama. Now, I cannot fully agree with that person there because they're going after the person that I just read the things that they were saying that was the uh, issues that they took, and I take some of those issues now, not so much for Mai and Klula, but it's just because of their contract situations. Those things, you know, they didn't want to pay for the extra money for that. I don't know, for the $40 price tag, you would think that they would. Okay, but I'm not over the tripping. It's the no crossplay for me. It's the no crossplay. It is the no crossplay. That is inexcusable to me. So basically, what they're going to do is they're just throwing the old game in. They're saying that like some outfits won't be in there. I don't know. That could be people just add more sauce to it or whatever. But still, it's one of those things that you kind of just like, damn. And so you do get tired of hearing all the negativity and stuff like that. But again, this is great for people who don't have DOA 6. Um, and if they just want to go ahead and just this would be perfect for them. But for people who already got DOA 6 and then they have all of the characters, and that makes me question a little bit. But so anyway, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that I'd get it anyway. But anyway, so let me read one more thing what somebody else said, and then we'll move on. But um, yeah, and they're saying some other stuff is not being transferred over as well. Um, yeah, so this is where the part they're talking about the update. I mean, some of the outfits or whatever. And they're saying that there's no up. There's the DLC from DOA 6 to DOA 6 LR. Additionally, Mai and Klula will not be returning. Um, and it says their DOA 6 character DLC keys won't carry over. And also certain outfits won't carry over. Now, again, this is like a statement from somebody, but that will be that's disappointing. But like I said, I'm not totally mad at it. I mean, if it's business related stuff, is business related stuff. But anyway, so that's my whole thing. I wanted to talk about that. You gotta let me know if you're interested in that, in wanting to get DOA last round. Like I said, I know me. I'm over here complaining hot second, but I know that I'm going to get it. It's just what it is. So all right, let's just move on. Let's talk about this $70 standard thing. This came from from Jason Shire. And he asked this question. And I'm gonna just be right off the bat and tell you, no, it should not be. The $70 should not be the standard anymore. It shouldn't. Only for certain select games. Certain select games. Now, say here and hit this. Sorry, I said this here, and where's that? Right here. Yeah, right here. Saying, listen, it says $70 price tag. Wow, I can't talk tonight. I don't know why. It says the $70 price tag shouldn't be the standard for most video games anymore. Not every game needs to be full price. Flexible tiers like $40 to $50 could help games sell more and reach bigger audiences, which I totally agree. And we've already seen that. We've seen that with Expedition 33. We've seen that with tons of other games that are affordable and they're great. And it, it's just what it is. And so, like, for what Microsoft was trying to pull with Outer Worlds 2 was trying to make that an $80 game. And then rumors of it that Outer Worlds 2 didn't sell very well. It would have been worse. See, like, again, these companies have gotten so greedy that they think that just because they get that extra, and this is why I've had that conversation with a couple of people when they were bringing up the thing of with PlayStation bringing their games later, it's a benefit for them because they'll have more people buy the games on PlayStation. PC gamers are not going to move over to buy a PlayStation to play that one particular game. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll just wait. And so, like, you'll have some, but not all. And it's not going to be every PlayStation first party title. It's only going to be one or two or three at the max. And it's the same thing that's with this situation here with you give an $80 game. Yeah. You have an $80 game, and so you'll get what, that 20, because the normal old price was $60. You'll get that additionally $20. Yeah, that's crazy. But how many sales do you lose because of that? And how many gamers are just waiting for that game to go on sale? And you've lost more money because by the time that people mostly wait for those sales, we're usually talking about maybe sometime in the summer or Black Friday or around beginning of the year, right after that, like for Cyber Monday or something like that. Like, I know that there's sales all around, but there's a big difference from when people see 10%, 5 to 10%, and then they see 50, they see 50, 60%, sometimes even 70 if the game really didn't do well. And they need to push and get a little bit of change. So that's, to me, is it worth it? Yeah. If you're bringing out Grand Theft Auto 6, if you're bringing out Forza Horizon 6, if you're bringing out something else that's more known, like if you doing that with the Division 3 or something like that, yeah, you want to go ahead and try to push that have a $70 game, then you can have people that will buy it. A Call of Duty, things like that, Madden, college, NBA 2K, those things will sell. The FC soccer games, okay. But new games or games that's making a sequel, maybe they second, third, fourth game, but that game is just looked at as, oh, that's a cool game, I would play that, but that's not a game that I'm getting day one. If you have that for $40, $50, that's a day one buy. That changes somebody's mind and perspective. So I don't know. I think Jason Schreier is absolutely correct on this. I've been on this stance for years, talking about. I just think that it's just you're pressing out the gamers, and you're just coming off greedy, especially of how these games have been coming out. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, like, you just see like Avowed played fine and everything, but look at the updates that Avowed is getting, right? And it looks really dope. So I'm going to have to reinstall it so I can go ahead and try to play it. And because I'm trying to hold off and just kind of not play anything big. But then I'm like, okay, this Avowed thing looks pretty good. I might go ahead and play that until Crimson Desert comes, because when that comes, I'm completely locked in. I'll talk about that here. That's be the last topic for the night. But that right there is what you got one of these titles. Like, if let's say Avowed was $50, that's going to draw more people to want to buy it. Not only on top of that, just having to be a Play Anywhere title, also to you got Game Pass as well. So, but $50, that makes people look at that like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, coming off with 70, then you see that they got this really big update that's coming out. And same thing with like Monster Hunter Wilds. I bought Monster Hunter Wilds day one. I ain't putting but what, an hour and a half in it. It was a buggy, hot ass mess. And I was like, see, this is why. Like, because it was just one, it was like, I'm like, you know what? One of these random games, I really did like Worlds, Monster Hunter Worlds. And I was like, okay, I really want to dive deep in this one and then really get deep into this lore. And maybe there'll be a franchise I might want to play in the future. It was awful. You know what I'm saying? It was awful. And now, a year later, they're doing this big, huge update. I know they did a couple of updates, but this is this really big update that they done. So I reinstalled it again. I played it. It played a lot smoother. And so now this new update that's going to be coming out here pretty soon, it's even better. So, but my whole thing is like, I should have waited. I should have waited a year. While now it's what, $38 for the game. I seen it on sale. It's like $38 for the standard version. Should have waited. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I cheated myself. So that right there is the one thing. If like, but if you know, and I know Monster Hunter is not going to be $50, so I'm erasing that out. I'm just making a point. But a game like, for instance, a game I've been telling people that I really enjoy. Oh man, Ends of the. Hold on, let me look at it right now. Because I said I'm going to stream it to you guys. Because I want to do a second playthrough with it. Where is it at? Goodness, I'm looking at my list. I got all these little tabs right here. Oh, anyway. But when I see it, I'll tell you. But that game is really, really dope. And that game was affordable. That game was like $30, and then like for the whatever, for like its a deluxe version, it was like 50. And so now, and then I got it, and then I was like, oh, this game is really, really good. I got the $30 version. And so then I seen that like now it was on sale for like $19. And so because I first got it on PC, and then I was like, you know what? I seen the Xbox version, and I said, you know what? I'm copying that, like, because I really did like the game. So I don't know, and I can't find it right now. I don't know. Anyway, I know it's in here, but maybe I have it in I have it in my folder probably. Because if I had all my games listed on here, it would be nasty. It would have my whole screen covered. So, well, both of my screens. So that's what I probably have it in that folder. So anyway, um, but that's crazy that I can't think of the name of that game right now. It's oh my god, what is the hell? Now I'm frustrated about it. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to keep looking until I find it, then I'll tell you. But I just think that when you look at those things like this, it is wild to think about how they price these games and how they're not understanding that they're losing money than gaining. Like, not all games should be treated like Grand Theft Auto or like a Witcher or something of that nature. Like a game like, see, if that game earned it, like let's say Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk came in full price, you know, and it was awful on older hardware. Um, it played fine on it didn't play perfect, but it played fine. It played good enough on my Series X. I only had one or two issues, and I didn't have any more issues. But still, the game should have been optimized a hell of a lot better, and they had to pay the price for it. But because that game was so good that again, it took them 2 years to get it right. But once people started, you know, that game was delisted, and they on PlayStation, they brought it back, and then it sold like wildfire. Now it was cheaper, and they had to take it for a law. Well, I don't think that's a lie, because it sold really well, but there was so many returns. So regardless of the fact, the game got people's praise because the game was fantastic. And the DLC. So if they decided that they wanted to bring a second version of Cyberpunk, then being $70 don't seem too big of a hit. But if there was a Cyberpunk game, if there's a game that's coming out that's like, again, like Expedition 33, first time it's ever come out, very affordable price. So it's just one of those things to me. Is like when you look at games like, I'm looking on my list right now. Let's see. Okay, like Vampire the Masquerade, which is actually really good. It is pretty goddamn good. A lot better than what I was anticipating. But you know, I got a good deal on it, but the game was like $70. And it wasn't, and even though I like the game and I think the game, like, man, why? If you were 50, I think people would give it more of a chance. But I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, it's greed. There's no question about that. But you know, what can you do? What can you do is just sit here and just wait. If you really want to play that game at some point, just wait. Just wait. You know, because some of these prices, because that goes into that Sparta game, that Sons of Sparta. Listen, I don't care. I love God of War, but I'm not paying $40 for that. I've seen the gameplay. I've seen people play it, and I've seen people try to give that whole, I've been playing this game and I love it so much, and I'm not mad about my purchase. Oh, okay. Okay, but everybody else is like, hey, we'll wait till that thing drops in price because, again, for a quality title like God of War, that doesn't meet the expectations. That's just like, for me, just saying this. Let's say that Halo brought another Halo Assault, like one of those it was the twin shooter games, like a Halo Assault 2 or something like that. And they asked for $40, people would be tripping. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And I mean, the one benefit would be like Game Pass. But again, $40 for a twin shooter? No, that should be 30 at the most, which we should be doing Shinobi numbers. And that's another good game. Like, I haven't played Ragebound. I haven't played Ninja Gaiden Ragebound yet. But Shinobi, for the price, I felt like I won. You know what I mean? Because it was such a high quality title. You know, I was a little bit on the fence for it because I was just like, you know, it is, you know, I mean, it's Shinobi, but you know what? And once you play it, I'm just like, oh wow, beautiful graphics. The controls are absolutely stupendous. Just really a dope ass game. So I'm like, oh, okay. And that game was like $30. That's what I'm talking about. So like, if Halo brought that, so like, again, for that, I'm looking at 20. I'm looking at Spartan. I'm looking at Sons of Sparta as a $20 title. You know what I'm saying? With that whole 8-bit, like, I'm like, if you look at graphically Sons of Sparta, and you look at something like Shinobi, and that's $30, and you look at Sons of Sparta, that's a downgrade graphically. And I mean, we're talking about you know what I'm saying, what people would look at as a franchise that would be in some people's Mount Rushmore of best games ever. And you gave it those graphics and asked for that type of money. Like, I don't, yeah, no, that just doesn't sit well with me, just like it doesn't sit well with a lot of people. But I mean, again, for people who love, I mean, like I said, it doesn't look like it's not a bad game to play. But again, that's awful. So, and that comes to that thing of just, we agree, where you just read the temperature in the room. I understand you. Okay, so it's a God of War product, so we're going to charge you premium, and we're going to make you feel like it's a deal. But when you look at that, no, that doesn't look like a deal. Not paying $40 for that. You know what I mean? And so, and that goes back to same things with Dead or Alive 6 Last Round. For people who don't own Dead or Alive 6, is that a good value for you, or is that not? But at least it's not 50, you know what I mean? So, or 60. So, because if this was 2017, 2018, that would definitely be what the price would be from Tecmo. Because they don't be, they look to squeeze every dime out of you with the DOA franchise. So, but it looked like they learned a lesson after dealing with what they had to deal with Dead or Alive 6. So yeah, anyway, that's my thing on that. I think that there's a lot of games that that miss out on potential because of that reason. And if they just think about it for a second, like they would make a hell of a lot, they would get a lot more sales and build that and maybe have a chance to build a franchise and then recoup that money um double, triple fold once you go ahead and you just send out that game at an affordable price the first time instead of trying to think that your game and listen, that game might be absolutely dope. That game might be something that's addictive and you can talk about and say that's great. But if you don't have a lot of people that's playing it, that's streaming it, and you just going by some people's word of mouth, and then if people are interested in it, then they're like, oh yeah, I want to, oh man, look at that price, man. Nah, the game that I always buy every year, or that, or a new title that's coming out, you know what I'm saying, and I'm buying the ultimate shut up edition. It just can't fit in my budget, and then you're waiting for that game that's now what, you know, because it was overpriced, and now you have to drop the price so much because a lot of people has passed on it the following year, and you still lost all money that you could have gained if you just had it appropriately priced in the first place to get people to even still pay attention to it. So, in my opinion, because not all games need to be priced like their Grand Theft Auto 6. It's just that's stupid. There's levels to it. So I don't know, but I did say I was going to keep looking for that game, and I did stop looking. Hold on, let me keep looking right here. Man, did I uninstall it? They gonna make me. Yeah, yeah. Did I uninstall it? I probably did for something else because I said I was going to get ready when I was going to stream it. I probably so. Dang it. Anyway, but it's ends of it was ends of the something. That's why, and I know what. Hold on. Okay. You know what? You know what? Steam, where you at? There we go. Hold on. Yeah, it bothers me because I talk good about the game and then I can't think of the damn name of it, and that is like that's crazy. But I'm old. Let's see. No, it started with an E. So let's see. Boom, 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 boom. And the E's. Come on, where you at? Where you at? Oh, Echoes of the End. And it echoes of the end, and so they had a enhanced version. See, I got the original, like when it first came out, and then I seen that they had this enhanced version. I was like, oh, and so I bought it on Xbox, but it was only $20. Like, and the game was only 30, and like I said, the deluxe was 40 or something like that. To me, the game was well worth it. It was a great game. It was a great game, fantastic game. Thought it was incredible. Anyway, so doing all this nagging and talking. So yeah, I just was like, yeah, that's a really dope game. Um let's see. That's what oh yeah, Crimson Desert. Um can I tell you how hyped I am for it? I'm stupid hyped for that game. I can't wait for that game. I am stupid hyped for that game. Man, I'm telling you, I cannot wait for that game. That game is oof. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's just like with like okay, like for like Shadow, like Assassin's Creed Shadows. It was when I first seen it, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to play it. I felt that way about like, Expedition 33. I was like, oh no, this looks special. And it was so special it wiped the floor at the awards. Um, I mean, it's just games like that. Like it was just like when I first seen Cyberpunk, and I was like, "Yo, this looks this looks stupid. Though. I'm just thinking of other games that like other people weren't even paying attention to, and I'm saying like I think that game's gonna be it, and then people started falling in love with it. I mean, tons of those type of games, but this game has that vibe to me. This game has that vibe to me that it seems like it's got something special going on. So like I don't, and then on top of that, like no microtransactions. It's reasonably priced because of course, like, for me, I feel I want to get my money's worth. The game's going to be, anywhere from, they're 50 to, when they say 50, for me, that's going to be 150. But you know what I'm saying? So they say 50 to 100 hours or 50 to 90 hours to complete. Um, listen, that's definitely 100 and that's going to be anywhere from 120 to 175. It's according to how big the world is. Now that, because that I can't wait to explore in the cool ways that you can ride on stuff and do things. And it's just so unique. Also, even the progression system, it don't even have like a progression system in the normal sense. Like it will have a progression system where you discover stuff, which is dope. I mean, there's been games before, but it's just like, oh, okay. It's not like you just have to fight, fight, fight. Also, another thing that I like about it is that it's saying, look, man, we're not a Souls game. You and this is excuse me. And this is how I love playing these games. Um, I go in, I play, and when I find my first boss that kicks my ass, I'm like, I'll be back. And I go through the game and I'm not even going through the story. I'm just building up, building up, building up, building up. And so by the time that I get to the main boss, because by the time that I'm at the end of the game, I'm done. I'm pretty much almost done with it. Like in the sense of like, okay, I'm good. I did everything that I wanted to do, or did everything I needed to do. I am OP. And when I go in and fight this main boss, I'm gonna smack his ass up. Game over, victory. That's it. I don't want to just go through it and just go with the paces and just kind of I never do that with those type of open world games. It's always me building and building and building and building until the point that when I fight the main boss, it ain't no problem. I got to that point with the last boss in um, Elden Ring, that I called him Puff the Magic Dragon because he was wiping the floor with me. He annoyed me a lot because it was just that it was the way the stupid little triangle things was coming and chasing you, and I'm like, what? And I was just, what is happening? So I went progressed up, progressed up, progressed up, man, and I got that. When I've been had that was one of my favorite weapons in there was that blood sword, and I lit his and I had it all buffed up and used the little bells that you could use and all that. And yeah, and I wore him out. I wore him out quickly. And so I was very happy about that. Um, so yeah, that's the thing for me. And then I got the best ending or whatever. But I really did I really do like playing a game like that to where I can build up and do that. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Souls fan. I just Elden Ring just did it, it just did something for me. Um, I just think that honestly, uh we need more games like that. Now, Neo 3, I heard that if you get past the boss, I mean that trial, that's the hardest boss so far. Um, because them games are pretty damn tough. The first one is manageable. The second one is hard as hell. Like, God. Anyway, so but yeah, but that looks really fun to play. Like the combos, the attacks, all that stuff that I've seen people do in Neo 3. That looks really, really fun. So, but I just don't want to be in torment. I'm fight. Let's fight a cool boss. Let's be tough, but let's like, oh my god, I don't. What I'm saying, it's a sense of competition, but then it's like, oh my goodness, So that's another thing too, is that with Crimson Desert is the movement is quick, it's fast paced, it's action packed. It's got like it's not like a Devil May Cry in the sense of the way that the combat and stuff is, but it's just the way that it's fast moving. You're doing some crazy stuff, and so like you still got to watch out for the enemy because the enemy's tough, but it's still like, oh man, you know what I mean? So I I'm really excited about the game. I can't wait. I really, 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 really can't wait. Um, this is it's a good time. It's going to be a good time. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm probably going to try to I want to re-download Avowed, and I want to try to give it a little time because it's definitely needed. So I don't know, but that's my thoughts. I mean, I have some more things I want to talk about, but you know what? Keep it short. I always usually try to say I'm gonna keep it short, and I normally do not. So we'll just end it here. I'll be back here doing some streaming. We'll probably try to do some more fight night here, and then we'll look at that echoes of an end. There might be well, you know what? I've even thought about maybe because I've never done like a single play. I did it a little bit when I started God of War 2018. Um, but I normally don't do a lot of single player games. I stream a lot of single player games. Like I'm usually doing multiplayer stuff. So you know what? I might Crimson Desert might be that game. I might start it, and start. I ain't going to show all the details because like I said, I'm a maniac. I'll go through it the first bit. You'll see how I go through a game and things like that. But then there'll be times where I'll skip and then I'll come back and I'm kind of further off and stuff like that. But yeah, that might be the game I need to show off. I think what I'm saying. Let you guys see how I run around in this game because I'm definitely going to play it till I beat it. There's no question. I mean, the game will have to be awful, can't run, something for me not because that game's got me so hyped. I am like, I cannot wait. So yeah, we're a month away. I want it now. But anyway, so thank you guys for checking out the stream. So I mean, holler at me. Listen, at the bottom, you see right there, you see support the channel, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. If you like the content, really do appreciate it. I will see you guys here most likely tomorrow. Peace.